Hello everybody, welcome to this guide for New Foundations, Runescape's newest quest and the introduction to the Fort Forinthry project, which lets you build your own fort in the old lumberyard site and get access to a whole load of pretty sweet rewards. We're going to kick things off in Varrock Castle. If you click on the little glowy portal over here, it will allow you to listen into the conversation, which gets you started with the quest. Once you've gone through the conversation, just head inside the door and talk to the king or queen in here, and they'll explain the background behind the expedition to the fort and allow you to accept the quest. We'll get a nice little cutscene, and then with that finished we want to head over to the fort itself. This is just northeast of Varrock, so where the lumberyard used to be. You can either just run straight there from the palace, use an Earth Altar teleport on the Wicket Hood, which puts you just south of it, or you can use what used to be a lumberyard teleport scroll from Cluing and has now been renamed to a Fort Forinthry teleport scroll. If you head there, you'll see once more a glowing portal just south of it, allowing you to resume the quest, and if you head in, you will be in a fight with a small number of armoured zombies. They die pretty easily, so you shouldn't have too much trouble clearing them out, and once all of them are dead, head to the north of the fort area and you will find Bill hiding at the back here. Have a chat to him and you'll persuade him to join you in reconstructing the fort. Once that conversation's finished, you'll find him over by the skeleton of the new workshop building over on the west side here. Bill tells you to get started building the workshop, and this kicks off the first of a number of construction projects that we need to complete to get the quest done. At this point, you're going to want to gather a whole load of planks and limestone bricks. In total, you need 116 normal planks and 352 limestone bricks to complete the buildings in this quest, and you may well want more if you want to continue with the construction of the fort afterwards. Bill himself has a base stock of them, which will give you most of what you need for the quest, but just highlight some of the other options that are around. The Builder's Store in Morton sells up to 50 planks and 1,000 limestone bricks. If you take notepaper with you, you can note the limestone bricks. You can't note the planks, but you can just run them to the bank, which is just over the bridge to the south. Other options for limestone bricks are the sawmill operator over here in the Ithildif district of Prifddinas, or the stonemasons in Keldrim, which is just to the southwest of the main consortium building. Or alternatively, you can go and mine them yourself from the limestone quarry, which isn't too far away from the fort. Planks, there are sadly fewer good options, but you can of course bring your own logs and get them cut at the sawmill here, or indeed go and chop down some of the numerous trees that are around and to the south of the fort. In order to actually build the workshop, we need to do a bit of processing on these materials, so head to the stone cutter, which is just to the south of the table here, to turn your limestone bricks into stone wall segments. Each one will take 4 bricks, and make the planks into wooden frames. You first need to turn the planks into refined planks on this half of the woodworking table, and then the refined planks can then be made into frames. Head over to this table to construct the blueprint, and then you'll get the skeleton of the workshop appearing to your west, with a number of construction frames around it that you can interact with. If you want to maximise your construction XP here, then you want to always be building at the glowing hotspot, but if you're not fussed about that, you can just AFK it and you'll still get through it. With the workshop complete, we'll gain access to a forge, an invention workbench and an archaeology workbench, and then you can talk to Bill to continue with the quest. He'll send us out to find a few useful people to help with fort construction. The first person we want to talk to is Asta, who can be found just north of the Blue Moon Inn in the south of Varrock, so just teleport to the Varrock lodestone and run north into the city. Once we've talked to her, she'll tell us to find Civ, who is chilling over in Barbarian Village, or Gunnersgrun as it's now called, just across the river to the west of Varrock. And finally, we want to find Father Flint, who is in Draenor Village. Either use an Amulet of Glory or just teleport to the Draenor lodestone and run south into the village to talk to him. Once you've talked to all 3 of those, head back up to the fort. And now we have to do an absolute ton of building of all of the stone walls to finish the quest off. Each section will require a number of stone wall segments, and the 2 gate sections will also require 10 planks each. Once again, build the blueprint on the workbench, and then head to the appropriate section of the wall to build at the construction hotspots here. This takes quite a while, somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour, so settle in for a decent chunk of AFK skilling here. However, once all of the walls are complete, there's nothing more to do. The quest is complete, so we can head over and talk to Bill to trigger the final cutscene and wrap up the quest. We get a quest point, but more importantly, we get access to the fort itself and all the other utilities we can build here. Options include upgrading the workshop, which gives you a bonus to construction experience while building the rest of the fort, and a boost to your invention machines. The town hall, which allows you to collect passive experience while skilling in the fort or indeed while resting. The chapel, which acts very much like a gilded altar in your house, giving you bonus experience when offering bones at the altar. And finally, the command center, which I'm most excited about, lets you access the Anachronia base camp, archaeology research, miscellanea, and your player-owned port, all from the fort, and gives you bonuses to each of them. Each of these buildings has 3 tiers which you can work through with increasing bonuses for each one. Oh, and finally, you can build a lodestone for 10 limestone bricks, which lets you get to the fort a little bit easier next time. But anyway, that is the quest complete, so I will wrap up there. I hope you find this video helpful, and good luck with fort construction.